Yo, I wanted to do this video because I just finished rewatching the Indiana Pacers Detroit Pistons game. And let me just say, I love the rivalry brewing there. I love it. 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 Stu getting tossed out. Look, hey, you know what? So what? So what? He got tossed. He should have shoved Thomas Bryant, as that's the way the game was being played. Indiana, there's Indiana is so Reggie Miller, Tyrese Halliburton, if I could put it that way. They're just so just annoyingly, like, you just want to beat them so bad, so bad. But the reality is the Detroit Pistons aren't there yet. They aren't there yet. But they're getting there. And I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stones Family and Relationship Care. There are times in my life that I look back on and wonder why I did not reach out for support. I recognize how much I normalized struggling on my own in silence when I didn't have to. If I was an athlete dealing with an injury, I would have sought out a trainer or a doctor. If I couldn't figure out a set play, settle teammate disputes, or my role on the team, I would have sought out an assistant coach for support. Well, Bridges and Stones is a place to find well-trained, supportive coaching for your life and relationships. Don't struggle alone. Contact Bridges and Stones today for a free consultation and get your life back on track. Remember, none of us make it alone. The link is in the description box below. I get it. Detroit fans, I get it. You want to win, and you want to win now. I get it. But don't lose sight of what you are building here. There is a significant difference between the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons. Indiana Pacers, somebody just put out this retort tweet of the Indiana Pacers have won, 42 playoff games since 2008. And the Detroit Pistons were like, yeah, but we got 3 championships. Yeah, let's talk about it. The difference between what the Pistons are building and what the Pacers are building is the Pistons are building a champion. And that process takes steps. And this game was another part of those steps. You have to recognize Pascal Siakam is an all-NBA forward. Tyrese Halliburton last season would have been an all-NBA guard. I'm not sure. He may have been an all-NBA guard, but he's certainly an all-star guard last season. This is a good team. Indiana Pacers are a good team. They are a top team in the East because they're a top team in the East. They've been one of the hottest teams over the last 20 games. I think going 16 for 21 or something like that, 15 for 20 in the last 20 games. They have been absolutely rolling. Despite the injuries to Benedict Mathurin, despite not having Andrew Nembhard, right? They've got guys that they can just slot in. They have depth. They have a system. They got coaching. And they've got continuity. They've had this team rolling for a few years now. Detroit is just barely getting back on track. But if you watch the game, you should be encouraged because you were right there. You got within 4 points in the fourth quarter. You just weren't able to sustain it and close it out, and that's okay. There are some things that I want to point out that should just be acknowledged off top, that you should be noticing and should feel encouraged about. Cade Cunningham, once again, is absolutely dominant. But what was interesting was how JB Bickerstaff and the coaching staff were able to take him off the ball, and he was able to be incredibly effective. I guess the Indiana Pacers do a great job of playing passing lanes, great job pressuring on the ball. They were able to bring Cade off the ball, and he absolutely mastered those dribble handoffs, coming from the top of the key, backdooring them when they overplayed. He was able to get to his spots, get to the paint. He had a really efficient offensive game, and he was able to play extremely effectively. Yeah, he had some turnovers, but he dominated when he was supposed to dominate. He kept this team in the game. On top of that, you look at Tobias Harris. He's waking up. Look, it takes him longer to bounce back when he gets hurt. Okay, we get it. All right, he's not ever going to be your number 2, but he's a damn good number 3. He's better than most number 3s. He can score off the bounce. He can create his own shot when you need him to. He's a guy you can give the ball in isolation. He's going to make something happen, and he did. He had a really efficient offensive game, was able to score in bunches. He was able to keep this team in the game. Asar Thompson, he's putting it together. In fact, he looked really good on the ball. People always compare and say Amen Thompson is so much better with the ball in his hands. Asar looked pretty damn good in this game with the ball in his hands, creating for others. And there were countless assists that kind of got left on the table because guys just weren't finishing or knocking down shots. But it's okay because you kept creating good quality shots. And that's what you want to see from your offense, that it can generate wide open threes, wide open layups. It can generate the offense you need to compete with the best teams. And that's what they have. They got their coach doing the X's and O's, right? And I think we all would like to see an expanded rotation, which I think we will see after the All-Star break in a couple of weeks. We're going to see Asar Thompson's minutes, I think, bumped up. And I hope somebody asked the question to JB Bickerstaff. I hope, one of these news reporters or these beat writers in a press conference say, hey, JB, can we finally expect Asar Thompson's minutes to get back up to starting NBA level minutes? Can we get it up to 30 regularly? And in fact, I want to see Ron Holland with some more minutes. Look, Tim Hardaway Jr., he's been great for us for the time that he has. Simone Fontecchio, great for the time that it's time to package them and get them out. It's time. Ron needs some more minutes. Bobby Clinton got in at the very end of the game and got an assist right off the bat. We want to see him because remember, what we are building is a champion team for the future. And we know who's going to be a part of that. We know who's not. And you know who's not? Tim Hardaway Jr. and Simone Fontecchio. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you have meant for this team throughout the first the first run of righting the ship. But it's time to move forward. I want Ron Holland with those minutes. I'm not even mad if you decide to put Ron Holland in the starting lineup at the 2. Let's just see. Let's give Ron Holland 25 minutes a game and see what he can do. Even if he's missing shots and he can't knock it down, you know what he's going to give? He's going to give you defense. Get out in transition. Okay, defense is probably going to be a little bit more congested. They're gonna close off a lot of stuff, and it's gonna be tougher on Cade. Okay, but we're building towards the future. And you know what? Ron Holland knocking down 2 threes in this game. You know what? Hey, Ron, can you keep knocking down some threes? Can you hit the corner 3? Right? Because we're trying to build something. I think all of us see the lineup eventually of Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson, and probably Jalen Duren, who's been playing much better, even though he missed a few bunnies in this game, a few. And this is one of those games where you just can't miss because the other team's not missing. Playing at home, the Pacers did not miss. They didn't miss bunnies. They weren't missing the wide open threes. Ben Shepherd, we didn't see him knocking down 3-4 threes in this game. TJ McConnell was able to get off. Miles Turner did what he does, right? Indiana got off. And this was a game where, hey, you know what? If you couldn't make enough shots, you weren't going to pull it out. It's okay. It's okay because we see where this team is headed. But here's the thing that I'll say. Some of you Pistons fans, I need y'all to talk to some older Pistons fans when it was Detroit versus everybody. Being loyal to your team. Being loyal. Some of y'all so quick to want to trade for somebody else to come in and take the place of Jaden Ivey when you already have a guy who hit multiple game winners this season, who's shooting 46% from the field, 40% from 3. I seem to be the only one sticking up for him. I'm telling folks, hey, I like him more than Franz Wagner. You know, Franz Wagner is in year 4. Jaden Ivey was in year 3. If you compare Franz Wagner's year 3 to Jaden Ivey's year 3, it's a big difference than comparing him to Franz's year 4. Imagine where Jaden is going to be next year. He's already improved his efficiency. He's become a dog on defense, consistently at the point of attack on defense, getting out in transition, limiting his turnovers, playing more within the flow, playing off of Cade Cunningham, while continuing to be dominant for stretches. Why are y'all looking for somebody more expensive who can't do as much as what the guy you already have is doing and who was drafted by the team? Come on now. Pistons fans, you got to be loyal. You got to be loyal. Jaden Ivey is still him. I know it's hard to wait on him, but you know what? While we're waiting, let's actively wait. Let's go ahead and develop Ron Holland. Let's continue to get Point Asar out there and Cade off the ball a little bit. right? Because we want to see Cade operate off the ball with Ivy some more too, moving without the ball, cutting off the ball, not just sitting on the perimeter waiting for a kick out, right? These are the things that we still have to discover. Jalen Duren is getting more and more consistent. We want to see those minutes continue to bump up. We still got Bobby Clinton. Bobby Clinton is finally getting that playing time. We all can't wait to see what he can do out there. So let's go ahead and make the trade. Get Tim Hardaway Jr., Simone Fontecchio out of there, take on somebody's contract, maybe get a couple of picks in it, second rounders, or maybe even a first, maybe even a young asset, and let's see what else this team has got. Let's continue to develop. Don't get discouraged when they get a loss here and there. Look, this team is competing against the best teams in the league. All right. They're not winning at the same pace that they were. If they get to about 35, I projected 32 to 35 wins once, and if they get there, they're going to be in the play-in tournament, and hopefully, who knows, they might get into the playoffs. All that's to say is keep hope alive, y'all. Quit getting so discouraged every single time this team loses. You're playing with house money at this point. You're doing good. Just stay loyal. But as always, I want to know what you all think. What do you think about this game against the Pacers, the rivalry that's brewing between them, rivalry that's brewing between a whole bunch of teams, your Orlando Magic, and a whole bunch of others? Holler at me in the comment section. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I'll get at y'all next time. Peace.